and I'm excited to bring this to you. Let me just move this a little bit so my head's not in my banner here. So, all right. So let's get started. Can you pull up the first slide? All right. So the four basic needs for an ageless life, and I keep trying to say it, and I know there's some programs out there, longevity programs that are 40, 50, 60, 70, $80,000, and they may be worth it, but some certain there's certain basic things that you can do or you can apply in your life that will help you to feel ageless, okay? To not be limited by the number of years you've been on this earth or the number of times you've been around the sun in this particular uh, body, okay? So we have to take care of our body. Our body is our temple, and so we need to take care of it. And so, and your body also consists of your mind, your body, and connecting to that spirit. So this presentation reveals the four essential dimensions of living beyond age limits. You want to have a spiritual connection. You want to have a mental vibrancy. I'll tell you, when you lose your mental capacity, it greatly diminishes your life. My mother had dementia the last 5 years of her life, and it just diminished the relationship. When you lose your memory, you lose your connection to your past, and you lose your connection to your present. When I would go over there and talk to her, it was, she remembered me, but she couldn't remember that I was married and I had two children. And we used to say it was like, it was almost like it was a surprise. If every day you found out, oh, your kids are happy, they're married, they have children, and it's like new every day. So I started to think of it like that. It's all about perception. How do you perceive things? So I began to perceive it as like, for my mother, it was like a new beginning every day. She would realize that, hey, I'm married, I'm happy, I have kids, and she would actually be happy about it. So I had to change my perspective, but it did diminish our relationship. So we want to talk about mentally, and then we also want to talk about physical vitality. You need to keep mobile. You need to stay mobile. When you lose your mobility, you lose your independence, and that can lead to depression. And then what you don't use, you lose. So if you don't use your legs, if you don't use your spine to stand upright, you will lose it. So you want to make sure you use it so you don't lose it. So you want to stay mobile. And then emotional. You need to be able to manage your emotions, and you also need to be able to have emotional connections, either with a spouse or with friends or a pet, or something, some type of emotional connection to a charity that you are very involved in. You have to have a reason to wake up in the morning. You have to have something that excites you enough that you want to get up and you want to get started on your purpose. All right. So we're going to talk about those four basic needs. Now, I don't believe in coincidences. So yesterday I was thinking about, what I'm going to talk about today. And I went to the store, and I saw this guy walking around, and I saw this shirt. He says, here's what an awesome 97-year-old looks like. So at my Kroger that I go to, everybody knows him as the captain because he wears that hat. So he walked around, and I was like, wow, man, I wish I would love to talk to this guy. And so at the checkout line, he came right behind me. I was like, okay, the universe or God is trying to tell me something. Talk to this guy. So I said, hey, look, I'm a doctor. I have this platform called Ageless Blueprint, and I'm trying to show people that it's possible to live life to its fullest to the very end, no matter how old you are. So this guy just turned 97. So I started talking to him, and the first thing he said at 65, when he retired, he decided that he wasn't going to be like his other friends who just sat and watched TV and withered away and passed away. So a lot of the people he knows, they have passed away now because they just sat. So he used to smoke. He smoked for 40 years. At 65, he stopped smoking. He started walking 2 miles a day. He started going to water aerobics, and he started making sure his mind was sharp with puzzles and things. So he actively changed his life at 65. Now, I told you I'm about to be 65. So I think that's just one of these turning points where you have to decide how you're going to live the rest of your life. Are you going to live it on a downward spiral where you just sit and wither away? Are you going to do something that motivates you, that excites you? So he was taking care of his physical. He stopped smoking. He started walking. He started taking care of his mental. We didn't get into anything spiritual, but he has a happy spirit. You see his face. And this is what I'll tell you. I know like 2 or 3 podcasts before, I was talking about how you can tell if you're aging by how you walk, if you shuffle your feet, how long are your strides. So I watched him walk out to the car. I mean, he was walking. He didn't look like Tim Conway from the Carol Burnett show when he's shuffling his feet. He was walking, his back was straight. And I told him I want to be like him when he grows up. The other thing he said, at the water aerobics, he said, these young girls, they try to pick him up. And he said, you won't believe this, but I had this woman who was young enough to be my daughter. She wanted to take me out to dinner. She was 74. So at 97, a 74-year-old is a young girl. We think of these older guys marrying some 20, 30-year-old, but for him, a 74-year-old was a young girl. He said he gets people, they pay for his haircut. They try to do all kinds of things for him. And he was just a joy to talk to. So this is what we're striving for. This is what I'm striving for. And I'm trying to help us both understand, how do we get to this point where we're at 97 and we have a smile on our face like this guy. And I'm telling you, look at how straight he's standing. I mean, his back is straighter than mine probably. So anyway, I don't believe in coincidences. I asked the cashier, would you mind taking a picture of us? He said he agreed. And so anyway, that's the goal of the Ageless Blueprint, is to be like this guy at 97 or 107 or 87, however many years you live, that your health. Oh, the other thing is, the guy told me he just got over cancer. He had cancer of his lymph nodes. He said, I still have the port in for the chemo. He's over all that. So this guy survived cancer at 97. And I'm going to tell you, most of the time, oncologists won't even treat a person that age unless that they think that they can survive the chemo. So this guy survived it. He's doing fine. I mean, it's amazing. He's just an amazing guy. And he's my role model. All right. Okay. So I call myself the spiritual MD, primarily because I think that is the ultimate connection that you have to have. You have to have some type of spiritual connection. You have to believe. I won't say you have to believe, but I think it's beneficial for you to believe that there is a power higher than yourself. Even in the 12 steps, that's one of the first things. You have to believe that there's something higher than you. And you can call it whatever you want, but science is also proving that fact, that there is a higher intelligence, there is higher energy and frequencies. And when we're talking about frequencies, we'll have to get into that, but everything vibrates, and they vibrate at a certain frequency. And your goal is to raise your frequency of vibration. That guy with that smile on his face, the 97-year-old, he has a high vibrational frequency. You can feel it. Okay. It's just like when you go into a room and you feel good and you feel like there's good vibes in the room. You are getting in touch with the frequency that is involved in that particular space. And so you want to try and elevate your frequency. That's how you attract the things that you want, is by elevating your frequency to that point to draw in what you desire. So let's look at, so purpose activates healing and longevity genes. When you have a purpose, it triggers biological mechanisms that extend cellular life. You say, you'll hear all the time that people who may be sick or may have some terminal illness, but they'll say, I want to see my daughter get married, or I want to see, I don't know, anything. I want to be here for Christmas this one last time or whatever. And just by them having that desire and them raising that frequency to say, I'm going to be well, I'm going to be able to survive this at least until this point. So you have to have some type of purpose to for your cells and for your body to want to live. Your body actually listens to your thoughts. That's what I learned in at Joe Dispenza, is that your body is always listening to what you think and to what you say and to what you feel. And your body knows how you really think and how you really feel. Okay, so no matter what you say as an outward expression, your body responds to what you are thinking and what you are feeling. So if you feel and you think sickness, your body will provide that for you. If you feel or think health, your body will provide that for you. Now, it sounds crazy. Say, no, I got this sickness or can't. It had nothing to do with what I was thinking or what. That's when you have to look into that subconscious and what do you really feel? Do you really feel because your mother died of cancer that you're going to eventually die or